Hello Year 6, this is lesson 3 of your 2-week writing unit where you'll be writing a letter in role. Today is Wednesday and today we are going to learn ways to expand our sentences to give extra detail to our writing. So what I would like you to do first, Year 6, is to watch the clip right the way through once more. So we have our clip here. You've got your link already, and whilst you're watching it, I want you to have this document out in front of you. Here I've snipper-tooled the freeze frames from the areas that I want you to focus on, and in each of these sections here, when you get to this point in the film, you might want to pause the film and to make a note of the things that you could describe or things that you could add detail to. For example, the kiss on the cheek, the man's expression, the way he played his keys, or here, the way he comforted the dying soldier. So that's what I'd like you to do first, Year 6. So just watch the clip right the way through and complete this document. You might want to watch it more than once. That's up to you. So stop the video now, watch the clip of the piano, and then when you're ready, restart the lesson. So Year 6, today we are going to develop your sentences so that they are expanded and are interesting. And to do this, you're going to be using a relative clause, adverbial phrases, adjectival phrases, expanded noun phrases, and you're going to use a colon, and you're going to expand on the simple sentence that you've written with an explanation. Now Year 6, all of these you have used before, but don't worry, I'm going to go through them again, and I'm going to model the task that I want you to do, but I've also included a help sheet for each one of these phrases, the way to expand your sentences, in with the resources that I emailed out to you. So you should have plenty of things to jog your memory on what they are. So let's have a look at what we're going to do today. We are going to grow our sentences. Now I have got a simple sentence. It's a main clause. We have our subject, our verb and our object. The subject and the object are nouns and sat is the verb. So here I'm going to take my sentence and I'm going to pull it down and I'm going to expand, and the first thing I'm going to do is use a relative clause. So we all know that a relative clause expands on the noun, and I'm going to use the first noun, the man. Now we know that we're adding extra information, so we know that that extra information is parenthesis, and we are going to have a comma either side of that extra information. So the man, what can I say about the man? Let me think. Okay, I'm going to talk about his memory. The man whose mind was filled with the memories of his past, comma, sat at the piano. So the man whose mind was filled with the memories of his past sat at the piano. That's extra information that's add detail to my sentence, but if I took it completely out, the sentence would still make sense. So the man sat, that doesn't make sense, it's man sat at the piano. So the man sat at the piano makes sense on its own, but that's the extra piece of information. Okay, so that there is my relative clause. I could tick that off if I had it. I've got a sheet of paper by the side of me, so I'm going to tick that I have actually done the relative clause. So now I'm going to move on to my adverbial phrase. So I'm going to pull down another simple sentence here. Now, my adverbial phrase, I'm going to use a fronted adverbial. And I'm going to do a fronted adverbial of manner. Remember we did TRAMP, which is an acronym to remember the time, reason, manner and place for our adverbials. I'm going to do one of manner. So it's going to be a fronted adverbial, so it's going to go at the start of my sentence. So have I got this on? No, I haven't got this on type, so that's not going to help me at all, is it? Okay, I'm going to do it in green again so you can see what I've got here. So let me see. With the pain of a lifetime of memories. Now you're all shouting at the screen, it's not in green. Yes, I know that. I'll just put it in green now for you, so you can see which is the bit I've added. So, with the pain of a lifetime of memories, comma, the man sat at the piano. Now, of course, this now is part of the sentence, so I lose the capital letter and make it into a main clause. So this, again, is that with the pain of a lifetime of memories, that's an adverbial of manner, the man sat at the piano. Now, of course, you could do an adverbial of time, of reason, or place. So there we go. So now I have done my adverbial phrase. So the next thing I need to do is an adjectival phrase. I really struggle with saying adjectival phrase. I have to think about it. Now, that's just an adjectival phrase is a posh word for saying adding adjectives to your phrase. So you know that an adjective describes a noun. So I'll go back to the man. Okay. Now, because it's a phrase, I'm not just going to stick an adjective in front of it. I'm going to have a couple of adjectives to follow on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at the man, the first noun, and I'm going to expand that by saying something about him. So I'm going to do let me think about something that I did before, the silent, lonely man. No, the lonely, silent man is silent. No, the solitary old man. That would be nice. The solitary old. So I've got two adjectives to describe the man. Now, I could say old, solitary, or solitary old, and because I can move those around and put them in either order, I separate them. I can separate them with a comma. So remember, the solitary old man, and that then, with man, creates my adjectival phrase there. So I'm going to now, I've got another noun, so I can add another one here. So let's think about this. So I could say the solitary old man sat at the most beautiful, oh, look how I spelled beautiful, most beautiful old piano, the most beautiful, comma, and again I could have said the old most beautiful piano. So there I have added two adjectival phrases to both my nouns. I've added information about my nouns to make it much more interesting. Okay, so I've done that one, and that one, expanded noun phrase. Okay, drag down my, didn't want to come, oh I didn't want that one, I want this one. Drag this down again. Okay, so expanded noun phrase, go to the noun. Okay, the man. Now an expanded noun phrase expands to the left and the right of the noun. So it's almost like an air hostess when she tells you to go out of both the exits of the doors. You go this way and you go this way. So the man. So I'm going to go here. Now with the man, I can add, literally you add adjectives to describe the man at this on the left hand side of the noun. So I can use these adjectives again. But I can't spell. Solitary, old man. Now this side of the noun, I don't add more adjectives, I add a prepositional phrase. So I can actually here think about this. So I'm doing an expanded noun phrase, let me think. Sat at. Now I've got at, so that's a preposition already. So I can just expand on that a bit more to make it more interesting. Because I could have sat at, sat on, sat under, sat behind, but I want sat at. So the old man sat at, I can make that green, because that becomes part of it, at the beautiful grand piano. So then I've now got, oh dear, let me just highlight this. So there here I have got my expanded noun phrase. That could be green as well, just by changing a few words here. So I've got the solitary old man sat at the beautiful grand piano. So here, just by putting the at and then expanding a bit more information to the left and to the right, I've I've got my expanded noun phrase. So the last thing I need to do now is to expand using my colons and adding explanations. So the man sat at the piano. Okay, so here I need green. The man sat at the piano. No, I want to go there. There. Oh, it is not green. Oh my goodness, year 6. IT is not being kind to me today. Right. The man sat at the piano, colon. Why was he sitting at the piano? Okay, he sat at the piano, possibly he's doing it because he's ready to play the music, to play his music. So the man sat at the piano. Now remember I said to you last week, that sounds like a because, that colon. So because, I'm thinking in my head, he was ready to play his favourite tune. Okay, so I have demonstrated to you there the 5 ways that we could add detail to our sentences. So what I'd like you to do now, year 6, is to look at the task that I have for you to do. Now you know which group you're in. You're going to now practice these methods of expansion for yourself. So I want you to go and choose a section of the film. Remember, you made notes of each of the sections very early on in the lesson. Yellow group, I want you to write 2 sentences, one that has an adjectival phrase in it and one that has a relative clause in it. Green group, I want you to write 4 sentences. I want you to do all of yellow, and I want you also to do an expanded noun phrase sentence and a sentence that has a colon and an explanation in it. And then blue group, I would like you to do all of yellow, all of green, but also I want you to expand your sentence with a fronted adverbial of manner. So year 6, that is your task for today. And of course, if you're in yellow or green group and you want to do blues as task as well, or yellow group you want to do some of greens and some of blues as well, that's fine. But this is the minimum that I'm expecting from you to be sending into your class teacher. So year 6, that is your task. When you have completed it, I would like you to please go back and read through your sentences. Do they make sense? Have you done what I have asked you to do? If you think you have, well done. This is the end of the lesson.